Hey guys, welcome to C Jam Blues Part 3 for the swing ukulele. This is on soloing. Let's get started. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. This is Part 3 for C Jam Blues, single note lines improvisation. Okay, many of you have been requesting it. Thanks especially to my patrons. If you're not a patron, please consider joining. Click on the link. Patreon is where I put all of my materials, my bonus videos, my PDFs, etc. Trying to build my online teaching community like I have here in Portland, Oregon, of all my students. Okay, so today, again, we'll be just on single note lines soloing on C Jam Blues. It's actually, even though it's Part 3, this will be a multiple series on improvisation because there's a lot to talk about. But today will just be the very bare bones essential of what I feel would be great for you to know and to make sure that you understand. So take a look at the PDF for C Jam Blues. I assume you know the 12-bar blues form, you know the chords, you know the melody. So the first thing I want to talk about are just inversions, okay? I'm really big on triads. So there's a C major, and this is a C, E, G, C. Okay, so the chord chart might say C7, might say C6, might just say C for the first chord, the one chord. And all we're going to do is visualize and play that C chord. I'm actually going to omit the G string here just because I have a low G. Some people have a high G. Sometimes I just stay on the top 3 strings. So we'll just do this. And usually I just say with the C on top or the root on top when I'm talking. So I hope you know that already, okay? This is all on the PDF, by the way, all tabbed out for you, okay? And then when we go to the F chord, it's going to be this inversion, okay? Then back to the C chord, and then to the G chord, it'll be this inversion, okay? That's 1, 3, 5, and then back to the C chord. And to me, this is very essential just to know your triad inversions is essentially what this comes down to. So basically, here's a C inversion, here's the next C inversion, and here's the next C inversion, okay? And then if you went to your F inversion and did the same thing, and then here, this is such a great important study. And then the G, G, and G, and then back to C, okay? I think this will, please, just try to do that along with the play along, the iReal Pro, which again, I put a play along backing track on my Patreon page, but hopefully you're using the iReal Pro app so you have more control over your tempo and, the balance, the mix, or whatever. Maybe you want to do it as a bossa nova, it doesn't matter. Swing. Okay, so that is super important. Please, learn your triad inversions. For demonstration of today's lesson, to make it shorter, I will just go ahead and do it in this one inversion, one position. My Patreon page, I will go ahead and post a video that has me going through all 3 inversions, okay? So, when you have the play along, you have 4 bars of C. Well, that just means this. Okay, then again, the chart might say C7 or C6 or just C. We're just going to do just C triad, major. Okay, and then when it goes to F7 or F6, we'll just go to F triad. That way it keeps it simple. Back to C. And then for the G7, we'll just go to G triad. Notice I'm just doing the same shape I did for F, slid up, and then back to C. And this is the easy 12-bar blues, not jazz, not too jazzy. Okay, so, and that's just essential. So let me get the play along here just to demonstrate this. This is exercise number 1. And I'm just going to do this rhythm. A little finger picking. I call this the in the mood rhythm. Back to C. Hopefully you guys know that old tune. In the mood. And then back to C. Let's do it again. C. You can see my finger picking. Just the top 3 strings. F. And that's just a triad. Back to C. And G. Major triad. And back to C. Again. Again, that's C for 4 bars. Notice the rhythm creates a syncopation, which is really nice, simple, all within the chord shape. And then back to C. I won't do the blues lick because I didn't talk about that. Okay? So to me, that's very important. Of course, on my Patreon page, I'll put a bonus video to where I'm doing it through the next inversion. Same idea. You know, 4 bars, speeding up my tempo a little bit, then back to G, C, then G, and back to C, etc. Then we go to the next inversion. Same thing. I think that's very important, again, to master your triad inversions, especially on the top 3 strings when we're playing lead. That's exercise number 1. It says in the mood pattern, okay? So number 2 is we're actually going to use a substitution now. And we're going to hip it up, what I call hipping it up a little bit. On the C, we're going to do the same thing, okay? But for the F7, we're going to do C minor. Okay, I know this might boggle you a little bit here, but if you really look at this shape here, which is a great substitute for F7, this is called F9. Okay, this is very jazzy. And guess what? F9 contains a C minor triad. So what we're doing is we're kind of targeting the upper structure of it, essentially, to bring out the G, the E flat, okay, and the C, which brings out the 9 flavor, jazzes it up. And then please look at the PDF again. And then same thing for the G7. We'll do G9. So basically what that means for us is that we'll be thinking D minor. And it really does make life easy. You'll see it in a second. And I'm going to do the same in the mood pattern with the substitution now again. So basically for the C chord, the 1 chord, we'll still stick with C triad, major. But for the F7, we turn that now to C minor. Okay, that's a great trick. And we'll explore that with single note lines as we do the lead stuff too. And then back to C major. And then for that G7 chord, G9, we'll do D minor triad. And then back to C. Okay, let's put the play along on, see what that sounds like. Here we go. C major. C major. 4 bars. Now for the F7, C minor. Isn't that a great trick? Then back to C major. And then D minor for the G7. And back to C for the C. Let's do that again. I love this trick. C for the C. That's face value. C minor for the F. And then C for the C. D minor for the G. And back to C. Okay, so up next we're going to do triad embellishments. This is just a primer which I'll expand on in the next video. So triad embellishments, to me, now that you have a good grasp on where these triads are for the chords as they're changing, we're going to do just really the very first essential triad embellishment. And that to me is called the lower neighbor tone. And it sounds like this. Notice I'm including that low G string now, okay, just to fill it out a little bit. And then for the F7 chord, we're going to do the last trick. We're going to play C minor. Okay, so the idea behind this, and please refer to the PDF, but it's really a simple idea. You take your shape, whether it's major or minor, got to have that down first. And that's why the first 2 exercises are great, just the chordal, the arpeggiating of the chord. So now we're going to do the lower neighbor tone. We're going to start on the chord tone, and then go a half step below, and then back to the chord tone. So whatever chord you're on, so then take it through the chord. And I'm just doing it exclusively with these 2 fingers. I call this the a la Django, because Django Reinhardt played with these 2 fingers, if you don't know the story. Okay, so we have this C major, C minor, C major, D minor, these are the subs, and then back to C. Okay, let's give it a try with the play along. Okay, here's the embellishment, the Triad embellishment number 1. C minor. Okay, we're doing the sub. Back to C major for the C. D minor. And back to C. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, part 3 of C Jam Blues. Part 4 is going to expand on soloing ideas. We're going to continue on with these triad embellishments. I'm going to teach you the very famous Mona Lisa lick. Okay, and how that works. And then again, this is kind of will lay the foundation. Many of you have already seen my minor swing videos, my all of me videos for the uke, and my guitar videos. And I talk extensively about this triad embellishment, which I feel is perfect for the swing style. It really makes you target the chords, and it sounds great. In the next video also, I'm going to go ahead and take you through the pentatonic scales and the blues scales, which is, I keep throwing these little licks. And I want to make sure that you're pretty comfortable doing that too. So that's kind of will be the 2 topics we'll talk about next time. Pentatonic scales and also some more triad embellishments. Okay, that'll be part 4. I'll see you next time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.